Hey, what's up, everybody? As you can see, I'm in the forest. I'm out on a camping trip, and I'm going to be making videos about my camping trip along the way while I'm walking and doing other stuff. I might. So I've got a tent, but I might try to build a makeshift shelter just for a video and for the sake of practicing some of my skills. Anyways, what I actually wanted to talk about for this specific video, though, is how everything in the world is connected in some way. You can observe how the world is connected through almost everything that you see. Like for instance, everything in order for new things to be created in the universe, old things have to come to an end, such as the destruction of stars and planets. In order for new planets to be born, the old things have to be destroyed. And so every part of the universe originally comes from the same spot, the same place. So the way that we can observe how everything is connected through nature on our planet, is if you look, I'll start with the most basic, easiest one to observe. The fact that trees produce oxygen and we produce carbon dioxide, and the trees need the carbon dioxide to live, and we need oxygen in order to live. It's a symbiotic relationship involving the entire universe and the entire world. And like when you look, another example, for instance, also as well, would be bees. Bees get nectar from flowers in order to make their honey, but the pollen from those flowers rubs off on the bees, and the bees fly around and spread the pollen everywhere that they can, and that helps the flowers grow. Bees are essential for our environment, because without bees, the environment would be a lot less sustainable, because due to the fact that flowers help produce oxygen and they do other things for us. And there's a lot of other plants that need pollen in order to grow that we wouldn't have, that we need if bees didn't exist. There's certain type of birds, from what I know of, that actually spread seeds around in different places and help trees grow in different places around the world and stuff like that. Let's see what else. Worms help gardens. They help to give us plants that are edible, and they're really good for things like that. Everything in the environment is like this one big community. Everything has some sort of purpose in the environment. There's lots of different bugs that help plants grow, like the worms do. There's tons of things that I can talk about and bring up as examples. What else? Well, I think I'm just gonna show you guys the environment and show you guys how nice it is out here. So even when trees die, they become a means of sustaining the environment, because mushrooms are decomposers, so they thrive when they're feeding off of something that's decaying, like a dead tree, decaying and rotting. So mushrooms grow on dead trees. And they also help to break down things and give them nutrients, turn them back into nutrients for the earth to grow more plants and more other things. And when other things die, they also become nutrients for the soil. We borrow the earth's energy for the time that we live, and then we give it back when we die. Everything has this means of coming back around and cycling itself through, and keeping and sustaining life and keeping it going. Everything has this sort of connection to it. It's really interesting to think about, because we're all this one big living organism we all contribute to the whole, in some form or another. Oh, speaking of mushrooms, there's one right there. That's a nice one. That's a cool mushroom. Oh, you know what? This might be a good place to make camp. Let me take my backpack off and look at this a little bit. Oh, whew. All right. Well, before I take a look around, I think I'm going to finish this video up for you guys and keep talking. But yeah, something pretty interesting about oh no, never mind. Then when it comes to predators, they've got to be introduced into an ecosystem sometimes in order to keep the population of some of the other animals under control. Like bats eat bugs, and spiders eat insects, and that's the way that they help with things. But personally, I think that everything has like some sort of purpose, and I don't think that anything exists just for the sake of being eaten. So I think that everything in the environment has some sort of reason for being in the environment. For example, flies are really important because they're also here to help break down things and help the earth absorb them as nutrients. Like they like to lay their eggs where dead things are and use them like kind of like nests for their maggots, and then the maggots eat the dead flesh, and the animal gets absorbed into the soil, thus becoming nutrients for it. So even flies have some sort of meaning in the environment, have some sort of purpose. Everything has meaning of some sort. Everything everything has some sort of meaning to it. Everything has this connection. Termites also help break down trees. I just noticed that because I noticed some holes on this stump. It looks like some termites have been digging around in there. But yeah, I mean, not stump, but, tree trunk, knocked down tree trunk. Yeah, you do. So I know that they do control the burns in this forest. I don't know if that's what these are. That's the reason that these are burnt and charred, because I don't know if they do controlled burns around this part specifically, but yeah. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble thinking about what I keeping my train of thought today. But yeah. But yeah, wolves are another thing that I think are there to keep the population under control, and they might also be there to clean up the environment, because from what I understand, they're not fully predators. They're more scavengers than they are predators. So they'll eat like things that they find rather than going out and hunting a lot. But yeah. Oops. Oh, interesting thing about cats and the Black Plague. I heard this. So I don't know how accurate this actually is. I think it's accurate and I think it's true, but I'm not entirely sure. But back in the days of the Black Plague, they for some reason they believed that cats were evil because they said that they were witches or something like that. And so part of what actually caused the Black Plague and made it spread so much was that they were killing these cats. And so the cats weren't hunting the rats, and so the rats were free to just overpopulate and do as they pleased and spread all sorts of diseases. So the rats were one of the main contributors to the Black Plague spreading. And that's another interesting thing about it, about what I was saying, because cats hunt rats to keep diseases from spreading and stuff like that. And there was a lot more to this than what I'm saying right now, but I can't quite remember all of it at the moment. But yeah. There's another conversation subject that I can also talk about in this video that's probably going to provide a little bit more things to talk about. So I want to talk about I also want to talk about reincarnation and the evolution of the soul and evolution in general and how it relates to reincarnation. Um, so what's really interesting when you look at reincarnation, if you believe that people can reincarnate from animals, if you look at reincarnation and you look at evolution, there's like they actually tie into each other really heavily when it comes to reincarnation of people from animals. Um, so basically, the whole idea of the evolution theory is that things things evolve into um, things that suit the environment better, or that so, yeah, things evolve into things that are better suited for the environment which they're living in. So basically, um, the whole theory of evolution though is that we started out as these microscopic organisms, and then all the animals grew up from being microorganisms into what they are now. And that happened through a combination of things that were released into the air when our planet was first created, when when like the meteors started smashing together and forming into a big planet. And that's that's where life eventually came from, when certain combinations of things were introduced into the environment, and it created plants in the water when water started coming into the environment. And eventually, at first our planet was actually volcanic, but anyways, the the whole basically how that ties into reincarnation is that you can actually see evidence of reincarnation through evolution, in a way. If that is if you believe in evolution. You might not believe in evolution, but anyways, if you look, the reincarnation cycle and the evolution cycle is exactly the same, pretty much. um or the concept of reincarnation is that we reincarnate in multiple lifetimes, multiple bodies, so that we can use our lives as a means to grow and to bring our souls into a higher state of consciousness. And basically, in some reincarnation beliefs, you have to start as the smallest, you have to start as like a really small animal. You have to start as something like microscopic and then work your way up throughout each cycle. And basically each basically what this is doing is it's upgrading your soul throughout every single cycle. You learn new you gain new knowledge, and you gain and you improve upon your beliefs. And so in the next reincarnation cycle, you're a little bit better, and you're going up. You're becoming a bigger and a bigger animal, basically. I think, like, you're becoming something bigger and bigger as you go, or something more suited to the cycle that you're going to be in the next time, however you're gonna reincarnate the next time. And this happens through learning, essentially. In order to reincarnate as something in order to gain deeper spiritual knowledge, and in order to reincarnate as something favorable I guess you have to like gain knowledge. You have to devote your life to learning and growing. And devote your life to to gaining spiritual truths. That's my take on it anyways. But yeah, I struggled a little bit with this video, so apologies for that. I've been having trouble coming up with subjects to talk about lately and stuff. But yeah, I'll be able to think of something pretty soon, I'm sure here. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Blessed be.